Bigfoot with a fan. And that's what we did. We went out together, and it's like 12 investigations later. He won't leave. Do you know how to get rid of him?
So,
what the hell's going on here? I left you alone for 1 second.
podcast here, sir.
Yeah, I left you alone for 1 second. You take the show over, goddammit. Saying, the best I can think of is tweakers are out in the woods making tree structures. That's what what you meant.
You know, it damn sure wasn't a bunch of Boy Scouts. I
Bro,
told you that.
Suddenly go flowing that way.
Right.
You guys will know. Yeah.
Well, red alert. The producer's here. Bobby Lee.
These millionaires don't know what Prime is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What are these lowly people drinking?
Something like Dog Man, right? And I have no dog in the fight, so to speak.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Banter with Richie B podcast. How you doing tonight? Hi, you're my friends. Well, I got something cool going on tonight. It's gonna be kind of in and out. We got a few surprises. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Let me bring up my co-host Wojo. I think he actually did his hair tonight for the show. Here we go. Yeah, I think he went, and I know he got a pedicure today because he was late to the investigation this morning. So his feet are nice and shiny, clean, and non-smelling. Well, maybe smelling, but maybe it smells like lovely essence. All right, well, here we go. Did a promo right there. Pretty good, right? Wojo's in the house.
What's up? Boom! Let's get it on. Let's LFG.
Why, you didn't want to say let's fucking go?
No.
Oh, come on.
I like to keep it a little.
What are we going, mainstream? I think that's next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah.
How are you all doing today on this lovely Saturday?
It is strangely picking up the pace, though, which I'm a little frightened of. I got to be honest with you.
Same here. It's just so much going on, and you know what? I think I'm shedding a few pounds myself, just being out, boots on the ground, sweating and investigating and researching. It's awesome.
No, I listen, it is. It's really awesome. And I've shed a bunch of pounds, but I came off my diet for the 4th of July, and I'm just not really liking this life. I got to get back to my diet, bro. It's like I'm just like all cobbed up. I'm like, hey, guys, what's going on?
Burgers, dogs, ribs.
Oh, man. And then I go up on the couch earlier, and I just went like that. I had to wake up from a nap to set an alarm so I could wake up from my nap.
I know. Maybe we should have done a podcast at Sam's Paranormal because she was grilling yesterday. We could have went down there.
She was grilling. She was. You're right, dude. Hey, listen, everybody. Welcome to the Get Haunted Network. That's right. We're actually live once again, twice in one day on the Get Haunted Network. You got to go over and check out my podcast, brothers and sisters. Make sure you follow Get Haunted. Make sure you like Get Haunted. Make sure you check out all their podcasts, from cryptids to tarot card readers, the dream interpreters, psychics, of course, the paranormal. So make sure you check that out, okay? We have a pretty kick-ass show tonight. Now, I'm not worried about like presentations and pictures and all that shit, man. We've brought in basically a crew. One's going to be late, I think. One might have ducked out. I got to check. He had something come up. I hope everything's okay. I am going to look right now, though, just so I know he's all right. And we're gonna have an announcement for you. Here we go. Trying to mind the situation I've been doing for a bit. Okay. Ready when you are. How's that? Am I doing good, guys? I said ready when you are. Thank you, sir. So let's say hi. We got some friends on the side, and then we'll bring in a couple of our guests. Did I say a couple of our guests?
Couple.
I know, dude. We're gonna try to push StreamYard to the limits. Basically, hey, the StreamYard's gonna look exactly like my waistband coming off my diet for the 4th of July, dude. It's gonna be stretched.
Yep.
I'm telling you, bro. That's what I want. I want to stretch a lot of things, my friends. We're gonna stretch this area of research. and we have an exact plan to do so. And we're going to share some of that with you tonight. We're going to tell you exactly what we got going on, what we have planned, what's going on in the future. We have events coming up we want to share with you. We have appearances coming up we want to share with you. It's going to be crazy. Wojo has his very first interview coming up where we get interviewed. My first one with my co-host. It's always been me. I'm not used to this. And now we got the Wojo going to get interviewed along with me because I don't know if you guys realize that he's part of my show now. Don't tell him that. He'll get a big head. Oh, wait, too late. You've heard it your whole life. You got thick skin.
Oh, exactly.
Settle down.
A lot of knowledge.
Yo, we got D-Hoot in the house.
D-Hoot's the first one in. Boom.
No, you are don't say that. I tell you who the first one in is because you don't know. You're talking to our guests. Our first one here tonight is Henry.
Henry.
Guess what, Henry? Because you're the first one in tonight, Henry, you are the very first recipient of the Arthur Mills Candle Face book. I just need you to send me your address through Messenger, and we're going to send you out an autographed copy of that book. That's for you, Henry, okay? You are the very first one to win a book. I got tricks. Now, the next one's going to be if you're on the side, I'm going to take all your names. I'm going to put you into a drawing, and we're going to pull a name. And that person will get a book. But Henry will be excluded from that because Henry already won a book because he's first tonight. Right, Henry?
So the runners up will get a free picture of you shirtless out in the woods, right?
Yeah, I already sent that out to all their messages. That's why we have low viewers. I should have done it. I should have done it post pre come off my diet type of thing. You know what I mean? I was all ripped and stealthy looking, and then the 4th of July came, and I'm just this big slug.
Maybe we'll put those pictures on a calendar or something. You know, Bigfoot.
A Banter Richie B calendar with all my guests. Imagine the Vogels with their shirts off, walking around.
Make it going.
Yeah, Tim's not even a hugger. I don't think he's gonna go for that.
Timmy, yeah, he's exempt.
He just said he choked on his coffee. Hi, Icy Spirits. D-Hoot's here. I'm sure.
Icy D-Hoot.
Look who this guy is.
Lisa, Mikey, what's happening?
I like that. It's like they are their own DJs. When one has the control, the other one announces the other one's presence. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, Lisa and Mike listening in again. That's right, Jim. We're over at the Kehoes. 106.7 rocking the Kehoe. It's like the Casbah, but different. I'm game, boss. Flexing and stretching with Bigfoot. I could see that as a shirt. This guy.
Oh, boy.
Why wasn't he in here tonight? Is he not part of this thing that we got going?
Send him a link.
I don't understand the issue, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
Does he want to come in on that? Or I mean, I only have his personal stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, Matt, he's talking to you.
Should I send him an email?
Matt.
I don't know, Matt. He goes, which thing? I'm not going to talk about it right now. My show hasn't started yet. Why would I bring it up now? Why is this guy not in the loop?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, folks. This is what happens when you have family involved.
Yeah, it's a sibling thing. You guys.
Sibling thing. Yeah.
Oh, that thing. I am game for it. Yeah, well, you know what I mean? We haven't heard much from you. I don't know what. I did hear something from you the other day. But Wojo, to be honest, Wojo probably should have picked up that end of things.
Well, I've been trying to get a hold of him, and he doesn't respond. Meathead.
So I got to get a hold of him. I got to get a hold of him because you're his brother, and he doesn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, he listens to you, not to me. And that's just as scary, if not more.
Dude, that's freaking frightening.
Frightening ain't the word.
Sky, what is wrong with you, man? So why don't we do this then, right? Let's do this. I tell you what, we'll bring in our distraction while I message him. So you don't have to sit here and wonder what I'm doing. Do you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah. So because my show, all right. So this show tonight, we got some moving parts going on, as you can see, right? But there's a reason for it. Stay with me. Once again, Henry is the very first recipient of the Arthur Mills book, signed, and going to be sent to you for free, Mr. Henry, because Henry was the first one in the lobby tonight. I thought Country Boy was going to get a book, but I don't see Country Boy tonight. Sorry, I got to call it legit. Henry was very first, and saying hello while I was doing preparing for my show, and I'm like, what the hell's Henry want? I love it, Henry. A lot is wrong with me. Yes, and me as well. This is why we want you as part of that thing. Sky, stand by. I'm going to bring in my other guests, and then we're going to talk. All right?
And we'll say hi to everybody as they come along.
Yeah, and we'll explain why we have extra guests tonight. This guy you guys recognize, right?
Big Daddy Andy.
Speak, Andy.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Oh, my God.
Can you hear me all right?
Did you say stage fright?
I just felt like I was on an episode of Hollywood Squares. You know, when the camera just goes by, they just make a face. You know what I mean? Like
He
that was it.
needs a pinch in the ass, for God's sakes. Hey, I'm Andy. Hey.
Hello!
Hey.
So
I'm back.
yes, BDA is always good to see. And now these other gentlemen, I don't think they're going to be as quiet. Just so you know. You know what I mean? My dog's barking. Can anybody hear my dog barking? Can you hear him? I always wondered that with my new studio. I wonder if you could hear things. I hope not. I'm going to make it completely soundproof. Yep, I am. Well, that's enough about me. Let's talk about these two. Hello!
Hey, good. What's going on?
It's Pony Boy and Soda Pop. What's going on, boys?
Yeah.
Valley crew right there.
Yes.
The Brother Vogels.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Without giving anything away, I'm going to step away for a minute because I want to get Sky in here too. Our other friend is supposed to be coming too, but he's dealing with a family matter. And then we have another friend coming. Can you imagine this? We're going to see if StreamYard will just shut down. If my show shuts down, good night. Good night, all. You know what I mean? That's it. So we haven't tried this yet. Is that a sneeze? Was that sneezes? It was a cough. Why don't you take a let's wait a minute. We don't want to lose Eric. Because then it will just be the Vogel brother. That'll be weird.
The real quiet one, you know?
Non-hugger. That'll be the non-hugger. You know what I mean? There'll be no more hugging a Vogel at all.
No hugs.
Please just don't talk at the same time. D-Hoot, I will run my damn show. Hey, D-Hoot, are you set up as a moderator tonight, by the way? D-Hoot? Are you set up for that tonight? Bobby Lee mentioned that you might be set up for that tonight. 6 or 9 in StreamYard. I can have 10. I could have 10 in StreamYard, Henry. Don't tempt me. I'll start inviting everybody in. I'll have no audience. We'll all just sit here stare at each other. So what? Thank you so much to you. So the other night, or last night, right? It was last night with Exploring with Phil. We had a bunch of spammers come in and basically attack Phil and was saying some heinous things and for the first time as a podcaster, apparently, I guess this is a thing that happens where they do this stuff. You know, I had never had that happen. So now we have moderators, and D-Hoot is one of them. So we're gonna make sure we get D-Hoot out a nice Banter Richie B T-shirt. And Sam's pretty paranormal, but I don't see Sam tonight. So now we have moderators. I'm only on here, but I want to let you know I'm home and be okay. Cool. So there's our other guest. So I'm gonna step away for a moment. Yes, I knighted D-Hoot. And Sam's pretty paranormal. Wojo, why don't you guys let's talk a little bit about Charm and Fair Farm, because we have some things coming up for Charm and Fair Farm once again. I'm just gonna get dates and set it up, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah,
I'll just talk about the past, and then when you come in, we'll talk the future. Okay?
Yep. What's this? Oh, Sky still wants to talk about spammers and idiots when I moderate the SAG after meeting, so I know how it. Yeah, it was not fun. Yeah, and Ron in Vex City. So we have a few moderators in the background watching out for this stuff, and the beautiful part about my moderators like Ron and Bobby Lee when she's here. Bobby Lee, by the way, had an emergency appendectomy, so she's kind of out of commission, but they're really good with tech stuff. So we're not only, we'll probably get their IP addresses too and then blow up their stuff. So anyways, that's a whole different story. So we'll have fun with it. So go to Charm and Fair Farm. Let me step back and grab him and then we'll be right out. All right.
All right.
And welcome everybody to Banter with Wojo.
Whoa! All right. So let's talk about the Charming Fair Farm. We went to the Charming Fair Farm a few weeks back. We had the Vogel brothers. We had Crystal Panic, Eric Petikoff, the New Hampshire Bigfoot Society, the Pendant Group,
Mike Trainer.
Dave McCall, and Mike Trainer. So it was a great time at the farm, and we did a night investigation. And obviously the Vogel brothers and our brother Andy, as part of our audience, came up and visited us. He was like big and very helpful. And Andy came out with us. He decided to stay overnight, which was great. So we did a night investigation. And, well, Vogel brothers, I'll start with you guys. What did you guys think of that night investigation and what you guys saw and how everything went down?
Yeah, well, when we started out, we left the campfire. We started out. We went down that dirt road, and we came across that birch that was bent over the trail. Kind of odd, but we went underneath it. You and the young guy went underneath it. I can't remember his son's name.
Bax.
Yes, he went underneath, and you turned around. You said you were going to give knocks, and I said, sure, go ahead. And you gave it the 3 knocks, and it couldn't have been 30 seconds, maybe 40, when we heard that snap 50 yards away, maybe.
Yeah, that core of that tree when it snapped, I mean, that was just like incredible. I mean, everyone froze. And then Tim right there on my recorder says, what the fuck is that? Because I'll tell you, that's how I was. But you beat me to it. And then we heard the crash and the boom. Now, Andy, what did you think about that incident?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was very close and loud, and I didn't expect it.
Now, is that your first investigation, Andy?
Yeah.
See, nothing better than us guys, right?
That's why I stayed the weekend.
Well, it was certainly coincidental. Let's put it that way. The timing was impeccable. It was a loud right after. Yeah, and it was substantial. It wasn't like some random little tree snapper thing. This was a like a push. It was something of pretty. It was enough to scare our guides back out when they left because they said we'd never heard anything like that. That was too weird for us, and they left.
Yeah, we had 9 of us, and we had 2 guides from the farm, and their names Pedro and Marcellus, and they were the ones showing us the way around. And when that incident happened, I think we tried to gather our thoughts of what just transpired and whatever. And as we started continuing, I looked around and I go, "Where's our guides?" And you guys could stop laughing. They took off. I go, "What?" Well, Pedro was telling us about his. He's from Brazil, and he was talking about how they have a hairy man, down in Brazil, not as big, but they go terrorize their town or whatever. There's a lot of sightings and what have you, and I think, the sound of the tree really scared the bejesus out of them, and they just said, "I'm out of here."
That's what he said. He said, "I'm out of here." Yeah, they have the Mapinguari, and he was actually talking about firsthand stories from his grandfather. It was pretty neat to hear. Something that was pretty bizarre down there, and the whole Mapinguari thing. If you could see the image of this thing with the open stomach with the mouth in it and the whole weird concept. You can imagine, but so
Yeah.
so anyways, and then he goes and hears this, and a couple minutes later, poof, see ya.
Yeah.
You're out.
Well, it was
Yeah.
pretty frightening, and just to see everyone's faces. I mean, Andy, looking at you, you were just kind of like,
Yeah.
shit.
I was like, what the hell
You were like, so like, okay.
is next?
Yeah, it was odd. I mean, it was definitely when you heard it, it stopped you just like that. You were like, "What was that?" Yeah,
I
it
mean-
was a whole group. I mean, how big was our group? Yeah, there was 9.
There was
So,
9 of us. Yeah. I mean, we had.
No.
I mean, we had equipment. We had like, me and Rich had night vision goggles, and Tim
Right.
and Richard had flares.
Right?
What was that?
The beekeeper had all his go-go gadget stuff.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
He did. He was all set. That's
He was
exactly
all
what you
set.
wanted.
And one other thing to tell the viewers, Eric, of what you heard towards the end when we decided to, end it like by the pond. What did you hear? And
There was me, it was myself, Tim, and Mike Trainer. We stopped in an opening. Everybody kind of walked up a little bit in front of us.
Yeah.
And we were just getting ready to leave, and on the other side had to be, I don't know, 70, 80 yards maybe away on the other side. It sounded like something was walking in the water, but walking towards the shore, and it was like a swooshing sound in the water. And it must have grabbed onto a stick, and when it pulled it, you could hear it pull on the stick. Not a complete snap maybe, but enough to catch my ear.
Mm.
And it's what it sounded like. Something was stepping out of the water, not in them.
So it grabbed the stick. and
Yeah, it pulled
leg
itself
up
out.
and-
Yeah. And then Richie comes over and says, "Hey, did you just hear that?" And I pointed to my left, and he said, "Yeah, that's where he heard a noise from." So it was
Yeah.
it was pretty eventful night, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, because
Well, it
because I remember like you and Richie just kept asking me if I heard it because I was ahead of the group, but I was actually facing away, and with the fireworks going on, and I was just trying to like listen into the woods to my right. You guys were like a little bit behind me, like I couldn't hear that, but that was pretty.
I heard something from the front of the crew. I was up front, and I remember my head snapped around, and only back of the head that I saw was Eric's. So
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go down right all the way around the group on the other side. So that's why I came to you, because you're the only back of the head I saw. So you were looking in the direction where I heard it. And I
Yeah,
said,
exactly.
you hear something? And I was pointing, and you went, yep. So I felt like something.
Something
First
was
of all,
there.
I felt there was a tree push. I felt 100% there was a tree push. It was way too coincidental. It was 45 seconds after the knocks. My fight or flight kicked in where I was trying to look to see what I had to do as a father to get my son out of there, really, because it was aggressive feeling.
Right.
And then I felt like there was some kind of a pacing going on. And I've been flanked, like I said, on a few occasions now. So I started listening for that little extra. I almost, underneath the wind, you can almost hear it underneath everything. It's like, your noise is up here that you're used to as a human, right? I always listen under here, and I could hear that little, that little bit of movement. And that's what I kept hearing and kind of looking over. Now, when you guys were out at the entrance leaving, you guys were out. Remember, you were a little bit in front of me and the next crew, and I was with Rich and his wife and my son. And you guys had done something at the end right there to make sound noises or whatever the case might have been. And we kept hearing more stuff in that woods on the line between right where the woods starts and that field opens up where you guys were on the path. We kept hearing something in there, and Max was like, Dad, like he was getting nervous. So I didn't turn around and go, "Hey guys," because I just didn't want to startle anything. You know what I mean? We were just like listening and then got the hell out of there. You know what I mean? So that place is crazy. But real quick, I see Kelly Porter stop by. Denise Pack's here. Courtney Peterson's here.
Hey guys.
The Courtney Peterson. Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate that. We got an announcement to make. I'm just waiting for perhaps another guest to come in. I don't know where the other guest is that I sent the link to. Should I look and make sure he's okay? But one of the things I'm going to announce right now, I've spoken to the Charming Fair Farm. Hey, Contraband, how you doing? I have spoken to the farm, and I have permission at our discretion, whatever dates we pick, not just one, whenever we want. I'm going for 2. And Tim, I'm aware of your situation, my friend. So, we need you there. You're part of this crew. Maybe not for all of them. I get it, but we're definitely setting one aside. We have permission to camp Friday, Saturday into Sunday at the Charming Fair Farm and do an investigation, a thorough investigation out back by the Maple Shack. The Maple Shack runs around. We went to the left. The Maple Shack goes off to the right, way out on the tree line, way out. And it has the picnic tables. It has a big fire pit. It has a couple of buildings for the maple syrup. We can pull our vehicles right in there, man, and just park right there like we did inside Charming Fair Farm, but this will be on the outer edge of Charming Fair Farm. So we have permission to do that. And I definitely want to do a mid to like a late September, because I think that would be a prime time for something out in that area, to be honest with you. And then probably one in between there somewhere. And like I said, that might be the one that Tim misses, because Tim works a lot. So he has a dream job that I really want. I've been meaning for him to step down and give it to me, but it's a whole different discussion. But then again, I don't even know what a frog is, so that could be a problem. If you don't know, Tim's a park ranger up near October Mountain. So an absolute beautiful place that me and Wojo have been truly gifted to go and see and explore with a couple legends and just really feel what the real outdoors is like. And we learned a few things, guys. We learned a few things. I think we did comparing the geography of that area compared to ours. We understand more why structures aren't as mainstream, because if a lot of it's like their land, Wojo, that we were on, I totally get it, because there's a lot of explanations of why things can end up the way they do compared to our place. If they come to our place, which they have not done yet, by the way. Well, I'm sorry. Was that a little shot to the ankles? But they'll see a difference. I know they will. And guys that are, they're outdoorsmen, and they're going to see a difference. They're going to see what we saw, I think, opposite way, and maybe understand a little bit more why we believe the things we believe. You know what I mean? Because you'll be shocked. You will be shocked. It's quite different. I didn't expect it to be that different, just because I'm in Massachusetts. But I got to be honest with you. When I was out there, I didn't feel like I was in Massachusetts at all.
Yeah, it's a totally different. It's like apples and oranges. I mean, they got the apples, we got the oranges, and you know what? We're trying to compare the two. Going up there, and some of the things that out in the woods, I noticed like certain trees were being stripped and what have you, and being chipped and thank God that, the Vogel brothers, they showed me a tree out there to debunk things and things like that. Oh, boy.
Hey, Rich.
I did it for you, Richie.
I thought it was, hold on, time out. I thought it was a girl on here because it looked like long hair. I go, who is that? So I had to look in. I see her.
Girl.
I'm sorry. I know you were talking, bro, but I was looking at it. And I had to share that.
You stopped me dead. I'm going, who the hell is that?
Everybody,
my wife said you should go on with that thing on. So I was like, all right.
That's why we keep. That's why we need her around, bro. So this is Rich Glidden from Shadowside Paranormal Society, and I'm gonna explain. I'm lost one person. I don't know where he went. But we got a few. Let's see. Can you get back? Oh, okay. Damn it. How are they wrong?
Well, to finish what I was saying is the tree. We debunked, the Apilio woodpecker that was attacking. And I was very thankful for that because you know what? I'm all about, understanding it. And, this is why we have these discussions. This is why, you guys are like one of our references of whenever we need to, look into something. Well, we'll take a picture and call you guys. And it was so perfect.
Yeah. Damien's got a quick question I want to cover before we move on, before I lose his question to the masses. And we discussed this a little bit. Let me see. Where'd he go? Damien, what's up, dude? Damien's here, by the way.
From Scotland.
Did you find tree with marks that match the noises made? Well, this is where we humble ourselves, gentlemen, and explain to them, for some reason, we didn't run towards it. And me and Eric talked about this the next day or whatever it was, right, Eric? And I'm like,
Yes.
what the hell happened? What did we do? Like, why we didn't go back out there the next day or anything? I think it was partly because the event was going on and we got kind of sucked into the event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Storm was coming.
Yeah.
But I'm really bummed out we didn't run far. One was pitch black. That was one of the things.
To be honest with you, though, Richard, I didn't actually know 100% which direction it came from. I had heard
diagonal.
it and it shocked me.
It was shocking. I had it diagonally to the right of us. Is that correct?
Where that X was, Rich.
Wojo,
On that side, but more diagonally in,
Wojo,
because I kept hearing like a couple of snaps, a couple of times. I've been hearing small snaps, and I even like turned to you, Eric, and asked you if you heard that, and you're like, no. And I could hear small snaps, but it was pretty cool. Hi, Bree, how you doing?
Yeah, no, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, so that was one thing that we humbly have to admit that it was pitch black. There was a little bit of chaos. It was a big group, and we weren't like, it wasn't like the other day, like when me, Tim, Eric, and Wojo went out, where you just, there's four of us, it's compact, you know what I mean? We heard that same thing. It would have been different, I think, we're in complete darkness and everybody starts splitting up. You put yourself in a dangerous situation where you don't have a cohesive team, in a sense. No offense to anybody, but we were all kind of
We
individuals.
also had your son there, too, that we had, a lot of us were, keeping an eye on, too. So,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So,
What the hell was that?
fuck
Did you hear
that?
that? Could you hear
Yeah,
that?
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Uh-oh. So, Rich,
They're listening. They're
Yeah,
out
listen.
there.
afterwards, will you be live at the weekend of the camp? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will give you plenty of updates ahead of time. We will absolutely be broadcasting live. I totally want to bring everybody into the woods with us. That place, I believe, if we didn't get the results we did, honestly, the activity that we did in that short time that we were out there, what are the chances, right? We walked through, you're not seeing much, blah, blah, blah. I walked off trail a little bit. I had some things that I recognize that look like my property in a sense that kind of leads me to believe certain things, whatever the case might be, but I'm not jump to conclusions. There is a difference. And I walk over and I bang 3 times on that big tree in the middle of in our way in the pathway. And we have it down to 45 seconds, right around 45, 46 seconds from the time I made my third knock, basically, to that tree getting, you heard a loud snap, pop, push, and then a boom, and it was all like instantaneous, man. And Mike Trainer really cleaned it up for us, that I have in audio, but it's hard to kind of download. So, but I'm working on that as well.
I have the full audio piece too. I apologize. I should have sent you a longer piece, but I just wanted, it was giving me a hard time, so I had to send a 5-second clip. So
Yes, I remember that. You put a lot of work into it. Exploring with Phil helped me out when I asked him to, and then Mike came back with Audacity. Why am I getting feedback? With Audacity.
It's probably Damien.
Yeah, Damien again. Did you tree knock in response? No, we tree knocked, and we were beyond that particular tree. I don't know about you. I wasn't going to go into the woods and look for a tree to hit. Do you know what I mean? And the other thing is, how do you feel about this, the Vogels? When that question there that Damien has, when you have an incident like that happen where it feels like it's an aggressive tree push, right? I mean, we can kind of agree to that. And, and at first you're not sure. I mean, these guys are pretty calm about it. You know what I mean? Could be this, could be that. You try to, you seek the rational. But even if, say, you know 100% at the very moment it happens and there's a tree push and it's aggressive, Do you feel that it's dangerous to maybe do a loud whoop at that moment or a big knock on a tree that close? Because we were close. It was close to us. Do you feel that would have been putting us in peril?
There's no telling. It probably already knew we were there because it obviously pushed the tree or something pushed a tree, or coincidentally a large tree fell at that moment. But having said that, you know, once we all heard it and we had that oh shit moment, you know, and everybody had it, that was our reality at that moment. That was a holy crap moment. And then all of a sudden, you know, that dynamic you're talking about, leaving this and that, to me, it's as simple as a group dynamic thing where we were traveling as a group, but we're not knitted together as a group. So our responses were very fragmented. Everybody had their own thoughts of what to do and how to do it, how to respond. And, you know, and that's just kind of how the group reacted. It was more of a conservative thing. Oh, yeah, shit, that just happened. Let's get out of here. You know, didn't follow through simply because we weren't really a cohesive group working. I think it was taking the group by surprise, maybe. And there was a safety aspect as well. So, you know, that trumped everything, and we just kind of went back.
I don't think it was.
And then we went back to the campsite looking for more. But
I really don't think
Andy
it
probably
was
scared
aggressive
him away.
enough to scare us out, though, because we kept going.
Sorry, Eric.
It seemed like a warning to me.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What were you saying, Eric? Now, what were you saying? Your thought?
I said it could have been. It was a warning. It was pushing us out of there. But we kept going. You know, we kept going in, went up a little further, checked it out.
Yeah.
And that's when you say you heard some pacing afterwards.
Right.
Potentially that all goes together. You know?
Yeah.
And
It
it
just
stopped and turned around. That's when I heard it across that swampy area.
so you guys know, I have it all on video too.
It's awesome.
No, that's huge. And like I said, I have that one very moment of that tree snap over and over on, you know, from Mike Trainer through Audacity. He's really good with that stuff. And it's abruptly loud. If you were out there in the woods, it's funny because you talk about it here, and the audience members or whatever on the side, you know, have the right questions. They're asking the right questions. But when you're in that moment, and I think, like Tim said it best too, as far as being cohesive and being together and knowing each other, and out there with you know, my son first of all, and then you have two other gentlemen that going out that never been out anywhere, right? And then you have Andy's never been out on an investigation, right? And you know, you have all that together. It doesn't lead to like, okay, you go left, I go right. Let's do what we do. Blah, blah, blah. It's not like that at all. It's like, holy, because the number one word at that moment or phrase was, what the, you know what I mean? Like it
That's what came
startled
out of
me.
my mouth.
Yeah, your mouth, Tim's mouth, I believe. And then my son looked at me and he went, Dad. And I heard the little concern in his voice. It was that real. It was that startling for us to experience. And it's it's not just a personal experience. We have it on audio. You know what I mean? You can hear it, and it's going to get downloaded, and we are going to hear it. But you know, these are the things, and these are the reasons why we are here tonight, gentlemen, by the way.
Absolutely.
We're about to make some friggin' waves around here, this New England region, aren't we? Andy, where you from?
Connecticut.
Rich, where you from?
Right near Charming Fair Farms in New Hampshire.
Yeah, and the Vogels, where do you live?
Western Mass.
Yeah, there's
Wait.
Berkshire.
Yeah, see that? You see what I'm saying? And Wojo and I are from Southeastern Mass. And where's Mike Trainer from? Rhode Island. Right? You guys, anybody smell what I'm cooking yet? No, nothing. And I'm waiting for bacon. Always bacon, bro. Always bacon.
It's always bacon.
Right.
Real quick before I go on, because that's a tease. Damien says, were we upwind or downwind to that encounter? You guys should know that because you brought it up a few times. Go ahead. Whoever wants to answer it can.
It's very difficult because it's raining as well. So, you know, that's a low pressure. So low pressure holds things down. So I'm going to,
if he's looking for the answer of
I don't remember
did we
wind.
smell something? No, we didn't smell
No.
anything.
There
No.
was no that was the a
Right.
motivator to push something. It was
Right.
nothing like that.
Yeah. It was just
a
a
calm-
reaction to it was a reaction to the knock that Richie or it was Richie that did it, I think. So
Yeah,
you know,
it
I
was me.
mean,
My fault.
yeah, it
No,
blame
I-
Richie.
Yeah, it was very, very coincidental. The timing, the whole
Yeah.
thing. If it was and it clearly wasn't a fake. It was.
I actually have a question for the Vogel brothers. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are on having a female in the mix for a hunt. Does it attract Bigfoot more or anything?
Do you having a woman out there with you?
Yes, I've heard
I believe having a woman or a young child out there, his son.
that's
When
yeah.
for some reason they're not afraid of them. They kind
agree.
of we're the male figure, so they look at us differently as the protectors or whatever. But a child or a female, I don't think they're as threatened.
I agree.
And I
100%.
think
That's what I
they
wanted
would
to
get
ask.
more noticeable. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But
I don't know. I kind of put it right up there with a dog. A dog will come up and either like you or not. And it's, they all have their personalities. Some are great and some aren't. And that's what you'll find as well, I would assume.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. And Damien comes up with something else. How do you analyze audio? Do you use specific program? I know Audacity is probably the best, and I think you can see it, you can hear it. There's a few different ones that we try, and whatever one where the specific I know there's 3 or 4 of them because I know Phil had one, Rich had a different one, Mike Trainer had one, I had one. So it's whatever comes out best on that particular piece because all evidence is different. All sound evidence is different. You know what I mean? I like to see the ones that you can actually see the lines and stuff, So that's my thing. Did Bigfoot's influence your investigation and alter your choices after hearing it? I don't know if it did that because we did carry on and we did get a few more things and a few more curiosities happened to us that night. So I don't know if it altered it in that sense. I think if it was a cohesive unit where we all knew each other and knew each other's traits and knew each other's equipment and things like that, it probably would have went differently. You know what I mean?
I think it made us more aware.
It
As a
definitely.
group.
Oh, and we did get excited, and that's why I've called back. Because if it was just dead, I'd be like, well, what's the sense of going back up there? But now I'm curious as hell. Now I'm doing the old, and tell me if you guys can relate with this. The old lay in bed at night going, what the hell was that? I need to find out.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Look at them all smiling. You guys all know exactly what I'm
100%, bro.
It's not true.
That took me off guard. That noise was so, it just like we're in the darkness, you know what I'm saying? And we're walking along and you just hear that loud noise and you're like, what the fuck was that? Excuse my language, and it's just.
But that's how it went. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Yep. It was 100% true. And then we, hi, Amanda. How are you? Thanks for stopping by.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Greetings from Japan. Welcome, Amanda from Japan. Welcome. Speaking of that, I have this young lady here, Crypt Tidbits with General Tidbits. I've spoken to you guys about this a little bit. Rich likes that one. I can't bring that guy anywhere. So here, I'm going to put this up on stage. I don't know where we all go when this comes up on stage. So, there's my QR code, by the way. If you guys want to, if you haven't liked and subscribed to my YouTube page, please do so through the QR code. I did get it right. I know. I've been practicing. I just sit around the living room saying that name over and over again as fast as I can. I'm really good at it now. And there's Wojo by the merch. But this is one thing I want to bring up, and we can ask my panel if there's a possibility of us attending this amazing event located in Rainham, Massachusetts, September 24th at 1 p.m. It's free entry, cash bar, all ages are welcome. So I want to have Cryptid Bits with General Tidbits.
Of course we do there, Bits. We got it.
On my
We bring it.
on my show, and we're going to talk about this event. So she has looked around and said, you know what, man, there's no events down here. There's no events. We're like, we're in the Triangle. We got no events, right? We have, and Warner Paranormal's been doing good, by the way, at this. A lot of paranormal, but he does have a segment on Bigfoot and cryptids and the Bridgewater Triangle, which, by the way, November 3rd, I will be guest presenter of that block. But this one here, I want you guys to mark on your calendars, and perhaps we can go in and kind of help encourage this. Because we want this type of stuff to carry on, like we did at Charm and Fair Farm. That was the inaugural season, right? So we want to make sure that we can kind of build that back up and to make sure everybody's coming out the Charm and Fair Farm, talk about cryptids, talk about Bigfoot. Same thing with this, the Mass Cryptid Fest 2024 at 1 o'clock. I'm hoping, I've been talking a little bit because I know I have a lot of people that love to watch the lives and stuff. It would be great if there's a possibility of Banter Richie B walking around and talking with people. That would be great. First year, but not last for this event. So I like to get everybody involved online as well so they can be part of your event as well. So, but we'll talk about that more on the side. And we did touch on it a little bit today when we were talking. So this event is, I want it to be huge. It's in the next town over from where I live. So that's crazy in itself. So good job and good on you. Good on you for taking the initiative. She put her own money and time and everything into this thing, and not charging entry or anything. So, someone that has passion and wants to put the name of New England name on the map, like we do, right? Which we've discussed, right, guys? That's kind of why we're here, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll commit to that. I'll commit to that myself. So
that awesome. That'd be awesome. So the more of us that go walking in there together, the better. So
hey.
Yeah, we're going to do that every time we're on. Every time I have a live, every time I have a podcast from here to September, that'll be brought up 100%. So you're very welcome. We appreciate you taking the initiative and doing that. We need more like this. And
Kathy, mark the calendar.
What's that?
Yes.
Who's he talking to?
The cat.
I said, Kathy, mark the calendar for me.
Oh, I didn't like. What's he doing? Ron's here. Ron, look at Ron with his little wrench right there. He's another one of the moderators, right?
Hey, Ronnie.
Mike Kehoe said he will save the date also. Very good. Good to hear it. Make sure you get over and like and subscribe to her YouTube, by the way. There'll be plenty of updates, I'm sure, located in that area. There's also the Facebook page for the Cryptid Fest. You can like that and check off going. And any event or anytime she puts up information about it, you'll get an alert. Okay. So yeah, that's huge. So I cannot find the other gentleman. He's lost in somewhere.
Translation.
Hey,
Yeah.
D-Hoot,
D-Hoot.
I just wanted to respond to your question.
Okay.
If you're asking if there's only going to be one that's going live, I can. What the hell is that? Anyway, I can. Oh, it's my wife.
Oh my God, she just came to the background.
Shit,
Hi, Kathy.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Yeah, I'll commit to doing some too. So to help out with that.
Well, that'll be. I don't know what that means, but thanks.
Yeah, I'm just saying to help any lives or anything.
Have you found any yet?
Andy, you want to translate that?
No.
I don't know. You started answering a question for D Hoop, so I don't know where you went with that.
Right now, Andy, before I make a big announcement, because I know Tim Vogel's over there itching for me to talk about this, so I can just feel his energy. It's crazy. Damien says he just spat Red Bull out his nose and it burns.
I almost did too.
Yeah, a haunting live on cam, right? You think a ghost researcher would have saw that coming? I mean, come on, guy.
Hey, Jay.
No, a cryptid body, no doubt about it. Hey, Andy, for a guy that was the first time in the woods like that, where you were, hanging with a bunch of squatchers, basically. How did you feel about that when you heard that? explain your physical reaction to that, because you're a guy that's pretty emotionless. As a matter of fact, I hold a mirror up under your nose on a regular basis to make sure you're actually breathing. So
I'm glad you said it, Rich.
hey, I'm here for you,
thought-
team. So
thought
how'd you feel? Tell me how you felt.
I thought it was pretty neat, and like I said, I took it as a warning, but
Mhm.
not so much that it would scare me away.
Right. So you
And-
weren't
and-
scared in a sense.
No, I
Okay.
probably should have been, but I wasn't for some.
Probably takes a lot to scare you, though.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just
And
saying. You know
like
what
I
mean?
said,
But-
we kept going forward, and
Right.
But like, I was running my FLIR down the side there because
Mhm.
I felt that there was something over there,
Yep.
just keeping an eye on us.
Yep.
But there were
Yep.
so many of us, it wasn't, it didn't, try to bother us, I guess.
Right. I think that's quite astute for such a rookie, to be honest with you. Henry says pistol close and thermal on the eyeball. Henry, I don't think you're wrong, bro. I don't think you're wrong. Have you ever tried making a Bigfoot shrine and decorate, leave offerings? So I have a Bigfoot gifting stump I haven't used in years. Wojo and I just talked about the new area that we have found that's very hot, where we found that amazing print. My very first casting that I turned into a big clump of stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
You did okay, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot out of it, just not as much as I want. I'm a perfectionist, and I've had great guys like Eric Vogel and Mike Trainer explain to me exactly what I should have been looking for and what I did as far as my first cast. Those guys have casted plenty. I have not.
Yeah.
So
Eric,
I appreciate Eric's good words, and Mike Trainer and stuff kind of lift me up, because you're over here kidding yourself, go, damn it, I should have done this, damn it, I should have done that. You know what I mean? But I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I just got to tweak it and get better at it. I'm new. I'm a rookie. You know what I mean? I've only on my podcast for 7 months, I believe. Yesterday, right? Yesterday was 7 months for this podcast, so I'm new here. And that's the fact, you know what I mean? And we've done quite well in the short time we've been around. So yes, a gifting stump is what I have at my property in Bridgewater, and Wojo and I are going to build a gifting area as well. So we actually have a new technology plan too that we're not going to reveal to the world yet, right, Wojo? We're not revealing that to the world, are we?
No, maybe like after the show, we'll talk to the rest of the guys. And
Yeah, I'd love the Vogels to hear that.
yeah,
I would love the Vogels to hear that. No,
Yeah.
I would. We love the Vogels. Whatever, Eric. Don't need to laugh at us. Jesus.
I have this.
Another pig. Wait, what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, he said another pigman encounter at Cannock Chase, UK, and wondering if these cryptids are mistaken for Bigfoot. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'd love you to, Damien. Did you send me your information yet? Yeah, pigman. My cousin and I were talking about Bigfoot and cryptids today on our walk. Thanks to this show, I knew a lot. Go get him, Mary.
Seriously, that's awesome, Mary.
Sky is having technical difficulties with his laptop. It's okay, my brother. I'm about to announce it, and you'll be included in it. So, Bigfoot rave ladies night. You really like the ladies night one, Cass.
what's going on, Cass?
What's up, bro? Thanks for stopping by. Greatly appreciate you. So, are you guys ready for me to make this announcement or what?
Yes.
All right, cool. So, along with Michael Trainer, who might be stopping in, he's had a previous commitment. With Sky, as you see on the side, Wojo's brother, and the members that you see here. And I'm truly grateful. And we're going to add as we go. We just got to sit down and talk as a team. You are now looking at the boots on the ground Bigfoot investigations team right here in front of you. Everybody here, we've committed to this, right? And we have a vision. We're going to have monthly meetings as we can. You know what I mean? It's not, if you miss one, you miss one, right? I mean, we're all busy, right? But that type of stuff. We're going to keep a loop of information going to one another, share evidence, share stories. If somebody comes to that person and says, "Hey, there's a Bigfoot in my yard," and they go and investigate, we're all gonna get together and talk and discuss what went on. I have plans for a database that I'm going to open up to the team and get their input on how we should go about that database. There's a few little tweaks that, again, I can't discuss until I copyright it, that we're going to have for that database. We're all going to be in great communications with each other. We're going to talk about new tools, new equipment, new techniques like the one we're going to discuss right after this live stream that Wojo and I had come up with. And we got Pigman stuff. So we got shirts coming, all kinds of stuff happening. Okay, so we are boots on the ground, Bigfoot investigations. And the beautiful part about that is what I said to you guys earlier. We got somebody in New Hampshire, we have somebody in Connecticut, we have the Vogels out in Western Mass, me and Wojo in Southeastern Mass. We got Mike Trainer in Rhode Island. We have a few other missing links that we're going to reach out to and try to pull them in as well. Steve Barnard mentioned the gentleman that owns the candle company. He's new at it, but he mentioned it as well. He's in the Northeast region of Massachusetts. So we're trying to geographically cover the area. Eventually we'll reach out to maybe somebody in Maine or Vermont, whatever the case might be. But as we go on, and we are going to decide from here on out, this base right here will decide here on out, along with Mike Trainer and Sky, who else gets added to that group. We don't want to just have, just anybody like, say, other groups just taking reports for us. We don't want that. We want firsthand New England reports. Mm-hmm. We want this to be focused on New England and anything that goes on around here, because I am telling you, if you are from here, I 100% believe, and a couple of the gentlemen here know, they exist here in New England, perhaps in your backyard, because they exist in my backyard. So that's a fact. And
my backyard.
Your backyard as well. Yeah, that's right. You have a pretty hot area. So I am super, super pumped to be able to pull something like this together, to have somebody like the Vogels, Andy and Rich and Wojo all kind of come together and say, yep, we're in on this. I think it's a great idea. Let's roll. So that's what we're going to do. And that incident up in Charming Fair Farm, I had the idea before that, but it sure as hell helped me kind of move it forward in my head, where I was like, you know what? If we knew each other longer, and like we were talking about, if we were in a cohesive team, we would have had different evidence right now, 100%. And I truly believe that. That can't be my head. Is that Rich? Is your phone ringing?
That was his cat.
No.
Yeah.
Andy, is that your phone, Andy?
No.
Can you hear the phone? I hear it vibrating. It's going boom, boom, boom.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. It's not my phone. Is it you, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, fired. Well, Andy was a member.
Okay. Let's stop.
Andy was a member of Boots on the Ground. So
Oh shit!
I always have it on.
I also want to add too, Rich, is that
please do.
actually, Timmy, really, we had this discussion at your place. It's like bringing the community together, community awareness, and have these discussions on what's going on in the surrounding communities. Tim, I don't know if you want to add to that too.
No, I completely agree. When we started talking about this, Banter's been hitting it now for a while on his show about, like folks out in Oklahoma, out in Idaho, out, getting out west and talking and comparing and sharing notes, and don't make it such a competitive thing. If you share similarities, patterns, things like that, these things will all help solve the puzzle potentially.
Exactly.
What's missing here might see here. What sounds different here might be happening over there. So, sharing stuff and being open, communication like Banter's doing is to me is a good thing. You need that line. Otherwise you get so focused. Eric and I have been doing our methods for so long. You kind of get going in a routine and that's good or bad or indifferent. Who knows? But I know there's some good stuff happening out west. I know those guys are doing some really good stuff and sharing this information, different things like that.
But also too to have these discussions like town halls and the general store.
I was just going to say that.
And things like that. And I know Richie, like you were saying, that maybe like me and Richie can come and see you guys and talk to the people there, and you guys come down here, and it's kind of like, you know, again, it's a networking to, you know, bring, you know, New England to the map of what's been going on, and have these discussions about our boots on the ground. You guys being up there, you know, Rich up in New Hampshire, and me and Richie down here in southeastern Mass in the Bridgewater Triangle. I mean, you know, that's what's important. Getting out there all the time, you know, and just you know, collecting evidence, researching, and just get the word out.
Yeah,
You know,
go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, just to go off of, I believe it's Tim, right? You were saying the idea of sharing information, man, you know, to me is the best way to get answers. You know, trying to be competitive, it does absolutely effing nothing for us except hold us back. So, you know, I would love to be able to do something like that. Get out there, share notes with people, find out, you know, what do the Bigfoots do in this condition or this condition, or, you know what I'm saying? It may be completely different than what we deal with. So I would.
And maybe you could start your own society, Rich, like Bees on the Ground Society or something.
Only if it has something to do with Bigfoot.
Bigfoot bees on the ground. So, no, to answer a few questions on the side that I'm having, Ron, the goal is for me, again, I can only limit the conversation because I have to make sure things are legally incorrect and ours, not just for anybody. But I'll give you an idea anyways. The plan is to have a live database. That's all I'm going to say. There will be a live database. So it'll be different than if you go into that other 4-letter word and look up the goddamn doctor's notes that they compile. And it's hot. For me, it was hard to put anything in there, you know, and I was just like clicked off. It was like, forget it. I didn't want to deal with it. And then it takes so long to get to an investigator. And then next week, you know, that sighting is 3 weeks old. And the investigators work hard. And Crystal's one of them. She works hard, but she has a backlog. It's a lot to keep up with. Tim and you guys know about that as well. And it's a lot to keep up with. So the best way to eliminate it, right? Remember the old show, 48 hours, right? The best time to solve a murder is in 48 hours. That's the plan. The best time to solve anything is in 48 hours, right? Right? Even a Family Feud, if somebody pisses you off at the 4th of July party, not that happened to me or anything, you know, you want to try to fix it in 48 hours, right? Or it just kind of goes stale and you don't talk to each other. So that's the same type of mentality rather than just let it sit around, you know, address it. Have somebody in the location or in the area that's available to address it. That's why geographically it's important to have the people we have in the locations that they are. So all that's been thought of. And Mary brings up a point too as well. Are we going to have our own YouTube? Are we going to have so this is in its infancy. Yeah. We are going to sit down. That's what boots on the ground meetings are about. What do we want to do with this? Where do we want to go with that? Do we want to take this stuff and throw it on another YouTube and have this person, you know, not get what they need for their YouTube? You know what I mean? So how do we go about doing that? How do we split it up? How do we make it all work? Right? Because it's not about clicks and views, but it is about possibly doing this. It is about possibly doing this without having to punch a clock during the day too. So you have to understand that it's not, again, I'm not getting paid to do this. I pay to do this. I spend a lot of money to do this. I work hard on my regular job to be able to do this. Okay. I don't want to keep doing that. You know, it's not helping the research when I'm at work 10 hours. It just doesn't help it. So yeah, that's the mentality of it. You know what I mean? So we have to figure out as a team and as a cohesive unit how we want to go about that. So that'll be a decision, Mary, that's made with the team, not one person. But yes, it's all great ideas. It's all good thoughts. The bottom line is I have found people that are here for the research. I have found people that are here for that ultimate class A sighting, face-to-face spit on me. You know what I mean? Like, if I can live through it and have Bigfoot spit in my eye, I'll take it. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
what
what we're just doing right now is we just building a foundation, which is now is this group. We also have like other people that coming out with me and Rich, hopefully on a steady basis down the road. It's just we're going to grow as a unit, and and give out that awareness. And it's just going to take some time, but you know what? We're bringing it up. We're going to go through this. It's just going to take time. We just build a foundation.
These things take on a life of their own, right? Just like each individual path that we've taken. Andy's destiny, Andy's trip through all the paranormal and everything else has now brought him to Bigfoot. You know what I mean? So it's taken on a life of his own. He didn't plan on staying at Charming Fair Farm. He had worked all night. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh shit, this looks like something that could be happening. And there he was. And guess what? Here he is. Same with Rich, right? I knew Rich through exploring with Phil. He was a guy that was interested in exploring with Phil's work. Here we are. The Vogels have been doing their thing for many, many years. Yep. And now all of a sudden that changed a little bit, right? We tweaked it to the left. We took a left at the lights, and now you're hanging out with Banter Richie B, asking yourself why. This guy's nuts. But no, it's but that's it. It takes on a life of its own. So we tell you one thing now, and it's going to change down the road. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is, this is the team that you see in front of you, along with a few others that we have, and a few others that we want that we haven't heard from. That we're going to reach out to once again, because I really would like them to be part of it. And we're going to have ourselves a squad. So the cool part is that the important thing is being able to get this crew together once in a while to get out in the woods. Everybody's going to go out and do their own investigation still, just like they always have. But we're going to make an concerted effort to get together. And one thing I want to address too, if I may, you guys were talking about, and I thought Wojo brought it up and Rich brought it up. Like the Vogels do the general store meetings that they have, right? They reach out, they talk to the local community about this. That's something. I'm sorry, what, Tim?
That's a lot of fun. We've gotten a lot of information.
It's brilliant.
It's 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We've had a call from Worthington. Well, actually, it was in Huntington, and then you went out and you guys got a track. Then we went up to October Mountain and got a track. Then Eric got the other day while we were in October Mountain about another thing, that wood knocks and other things that was going on in Worthington
while we were casting that track.
So,
awesome.
it kind of,
Wow.
because these little, there's 3 or 4 things right there. And it's all because we're throwing out the name, getting it out there in these small little places. And these small little places are, they got a lot of people that just, they'll stop in, they'll see your card and say, what is this? And they'll take it. And next thing you know, you're getting a phone call, and we've gotten phone calls. So it's working. Like I said, we believe this is our season when they're moving through. Right now, there's a bunch of berries. The gardens are coming in.
Yep.
It's Western Mass. You guys have been here. It's a lot like the beekeeper's place up there in New Hampshire. It's all woods and farms and things like that. So it's beautiful country for it.
Oh yeah. It's that time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm sorry.
I fucking love the delivery.
I love it. No, and also too, it's like what we discussed about, like especially in your area where it's vast and it's great to see others like ourselves to come out there. If there's like a fair of some sort or I don't know, a community event where we can just have these Bigfoot discussions of what is going on in the woods, where people are not able to really, they don't even know who to talk to. And when they see like, hey, Bigfoot community event or whatever, maybe they'll bring them out and kind of like share a story or just at least show up and just watch what's going on. Kind of like the Charming Fair Farm.
Yeah.
Right.
They're more susceptible to opening up to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
And that's why we'll do a library. We'll do a country store. August 18th, we're in Southwick.
Hey, you guys up there? You guys up there could do a chowder and a Bigfoot talk.
Chowder.
Chowder.
Well, it's funny. The the reason it's a great idea, and the reason why I brought that up too is that my fiance Jessica, who's very close to the librarian because she loves bringing the kids to the library to learn and do all these fun events that they put on, and so I said to her, "Speak to the librarian, please, because I want to do a presentation on Bigfoot for the library. We can make it kid friendly, or we can make it adult friendly. It does either one. It don't matter, right?" And so that's one of the purposes of this group as well. Is we're going to kind of call upon you to go out to your area and find a place to put on one of these town hall type meetings where you go out and talk to people, right? And now, if you're nervous about doing that, you have a team that you can reach out to that's done it before and said, "Hey, can you be up here on this date because I have a chance to do like the general store at the Vogels." All the Vogels already have their foot in the door at the general store. Maybe they'll say, "I'm bringing a guest," and they'll have Richie B and Wojo come out. And we'll share our stories with them so they can see that it is real and it is okay to talk about, and maybe get them more comfortable. And just instead of sometimes seeing the same face, it's nice to have a different face, and maybe that'll be them, make them feel more comfortable. Or I'll have the Vogels come down to the library thing and bring their casts, and we'll have a discussion at the library, right? Or we'll have Andy find a spot up at his place, and we'll go help Andy out. Because I don't know if Andy can do a presentation. Andy, can you do a presentation?
I don't know.
He'll just hold the cue cards. What to say?
This is the Jay and Silent Bob Bigfoot Show.
Oh my God!
It's all right, Andy. Speak up.
I'm the newbie.
You, man.
The newbie.
Kathy, you're part of the squad. You know, come on now. So I think it opens up an avenue to all different types of things, and makes it. And for one, it makes it. I don't know. To me, it's so much more fun when you can go out with somebody and bounce things off of them and have a conversation. Me and Wojo have gone back and forth a few times, even in where it's, I don't think so. Oh yeah, I think so. That's nothing. Oh, that's something. We've had those healthy kind of conversations where we go back and forth with each other in the woods, and until we can kind of come to a happy medium and figure out what the hell was going on,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's great. It's great because it turns into great. It's just there's so much. What's that?
Bantering with Richie B.
Yeah, yeah, in the woods while Sasquatch is secretly watching you, like, what? I keep seeing this banter guy, Sasquatch out there. I see this banter guy with them, but why is he such a problem everywhere he goes? I'm right.
Jeez, that guy is loud.
Yeah, that guy sucks, So no, it's super excited news. We're excited to bring it to everybody right here and right now, and it's one reason why I kind of reserved this night to do this. There's so many other ways I could have done it, but there's no other way really just to get on the podcast and hang out with my friends and be able to say, hey, we're a team. This is our vision. We want to share it with you guys. We believe it's going to help the New England region with the Bigfoot situation. We believe that we have, the other thing is I have a lot of connections, and I didn't realize how many connections I had till I was at Charming Fair Farm, and I looked around and went, oh my God, all these guys have been on my show, or they're my friends, or, this is amazing. And what an opportunity for me to reach out to them and say, hey, can I bring everybody together and be a team? And a couple people declined. But for the most part, 95% was like, hell yeah, man, I want in on that. You know what I mean? So it was just a great opportunity to use this platform and to use everybody, recognize everybody's passions, man. Everybody here has a passion for this. It's not like clicks and views. It isn't none of that bullshit, man. This is people that are passionate about this subject, and it's kind of taken over their lives. Seriously. It's like, hi, my name's Richie B, and I'm a Bigfoot alcoholic, a Bigfootaholic. That's what it feels like sometimes. I'm just like, because sometimes I'm up till 1 a.m. I'm looking at the bones, right? Then I message you guys about the bones, right? I'm over here researching the bones. I got my flashlight inside the bone, and I'm sitting here. All of a sudden, it's 1 a.m. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go to bed. That's what it does, doesn't it? What's that?
Just an Android.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What's funny is I primarily left him out of the conversation. I did take a shot in the back seat that day, so I'm open to anything, I guess. So touche, my friend.
Oh, you should have heard him. We're out there. We found a track, and I'm trying to scan a verse with my phone. I'm sweating, I'm dripping everywhere, but I'm like, I got one foot in mud, the other one like really in water, and he's just yelling at me, "Slow down, you freaking Android user!" And it came out shitty, and it just took forever. He goes, "Oh my god!" He goes, "Yeah, typical Android."
And you were so mad. That's the
Oh,
maddest.
I was like, "Just do it, hurry up and get it over with." And you're like, "Oh, I'm already done." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I was already done. Yeah, sorry about that, buddy.
Well, they don't make the Scaniverse for Android.
They do now.
Oh, when did that happen?
I don't know. They did, but they did a shitty job because they don't know how to figure out how to put it on a tablet. They only know how to put it on a. They only know how to put it on a computer, which is an iPhone. You guys have little analog tablets that you think are phones. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but if you put it on a computer made by a computer company, then therefore you have more technology because it's a computer company, right, Kathy Masso?
Yeah, you and Kathy can go fuck off, all right?
Kathy, come to the background and choke him. So,
all he sees a punch out of nowhere.
Yeah, no. And Damien says it's an honor that everyone is sharing and helping, and it's everyone here that makes it a community. Absolutely. And everybody on the side, listen, you guys are all part of this. You'll be part of these investigations. Henry goes, woo, spicy. You guys will be part of these investigations. You'll be able to share in these investigations, and you're part of my thinking as well. It isn't just about, I could sit whenever I do this podcast, and I think of the people first, right? It's not even about the podcast anymore. It's just like, there's days, honestly, I love doing what I do, but I have a lot of children. I have a business. I have a lot to do. And some days I'm like, oh, I got to get up and go do the podcast. And I'm like, I think of the people on the side that have been here and supported me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I get to go see them. Oh, I get to hang out with D-Hood. Oh, I got to see what Damien's up to. And it becomes a whole different ball game. So you guys are all part of this as well. So I appreciate all you guys. And I got a bunch of things going on the side that I have not brought up. Let's see. Everyone brings something to the table. Definitely. This table is in abundance. You don't need to worry about that. 100% D-Hood, you are correct. Ron, the platform that I'm on, Get Haunted, is just my podcast platform. That is somebody who gave me my first opportunity based off of my personality and not my merits, and off of who I was and not my podcast, which was non-existent at the time that they wanted me on their platform. I will never leave Get Haunted. I don't care if they tell me, hey, we hate you, leave. I'm just going to sit here until the cops come. So trust me, I've done this before. I'm not scared.
I'm already hearing knocks at the door. This is the police. Come out.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah.
My name's Eric Vogel.
You don't want to. Yeah. I got a wrist rocket I had to buy in New Hampshire. You don't want none of this. Okay? Can't buy that down here. Do we use biological washing powder or non-biological? I only ask because if you use bio, rabbits see you because your clothes glow or spark. What the fuck, Damien? Dude, how much? I think that reverse snorting of the Red Bull just set you off, bro. I'm trying to read that thing.
He's talking about. I'm pretty sure he's talking about your when you wash your clothes, because the Bigfoot it's easier for the Bigfoot to see you
or smell you
or smell whatever
or both.
Yeah,
maybe both.
Well, I think we should just grab Andy and pour it on him and just throw him out in the woods and see if they can see him or not. He's quiet as it is,
We'll wait till Andy. Andy passes out. We'll strip him down and slap 2 steaks on him, and then scream fire and run.
Don't forget, we're gonna draw on his face too, though.
Wow. Oh yeah, you always got to draw a mustache on his face. We'll make it come out his goatee like this.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, whatever you do into this process, do not hug Tim Vogel while it's happening. That man is not a hugger. No, sir. Right, Tim?
Not a hugger.
We have a new handshake.
What's wrong with a good handshake? Just a good old handshake.
I give a handshake now, but it's a little bit different, right?
Oh, see, that's wrong.
I like that Richie's like, I'm a hugger, and you're like, I'm not. Get away.
Eric's a semi-hugger. He's not really a hugger either, but he'll tolerate me. You know what I mean? He's like, obviously this kid was abused as a child.
I was squeezed by the banter.
Yes. So let's see. You could always smudge people with those plugs you found in the woods just to maintain a Bigfoot. Oh, God. No, I'm not smelling like that. No, thank you. I lost my taste and smell 30 years ago. I can hug a skunk. Oh, Vasso's coming through the woods again.
Girls are going to love you, pal.
See how does everybody see how the Apple user outsmarted the Android user once again tonight? Yep, there it is.
You're the one that's
There it
getting
is.
feedback.
I don't know where the feedback's coming from. Actually, that's kind of weird. I was thinking maybe somebody was coming in to harass me again on the
yeah,
the
who
hackers.
knows? You know what's funny is you say that jokingly, but that was actually the first thing I thought of when it started happening.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Let's see. Hang on one second. I'm trying to see if there's I'm trying to get one thing up on the screen before we go tonight. But anybody who didn't see it, I will show my first cast once again. Me, I affect all feeds. True. So that's my first cast. You can note. You notice that bend in the foot, right? Where is it? I can't. I always try to get the angle with the camera of it. Right now, Eric, did you have a bend in yours? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yes, we do have a bend in it.
Very similar.
Yeah. So the one that we found out at October Mountain on our very first and only investigation to October Mountain with the Great Vogels was a giant, and it was 17 by 7.
And the heel was 5.
Yeah, I have a 3D scan of the 17. I have another 3D scan of the one that's this one here. But this is let me see. Now, StreamYard doesn't like the Scaniverse, by the way. So, but I'm going to add this to the stage and see where it goes. So this is the one that Eric. Yep, there it goes. It did the stop again. That Eric just cast. Right. Yeah. That rock came up with it as well, right?
Rock came with it. Yep.
But if you keep getting, you can almost right there. You can almost see the big toe.
Yeah.
Right along that rock.
Yep.
And like I said, I believe it's an older. I think it's I think there was a higher water line at the moment when that thing, I believe, came out, made the footprint, and then when we got there, as the waters receded down even more, and it stepped off into the grass.
Very good possibility.
Yeah,
that was always caught my attention because it was different. There was other foot traffic in there, but this one it stood out because of it was wider.
Yeah, and I've been I measured my my fly fishing boots. Not even close.
Yeah, not even close to that. And what we did too, and here's a good point too. And someone just brought, I think it was Tim just said about the grass. We actually measured over to the grass because if you look at this foot where the rock is located, you can see the rock is separated from the dirt. Possibly a little bit of a slide in there as well. And it almost looks like, I'll try to do the motion, where it stepped with its left and kind of went this way.
Because the rock's like flushed.
And the grass was about 55 inches away, right? That's what we measured. We measured this area. If you're out doing research, take some notes and understand what we're thinking. And we're trying to get a visual of why that second one isn't there, right? This is on a bank of a small pond, and it looks like it turned and pivoted a little slightly, ever so slightly, like, oh, I'm going to go this way because there's grass right there. And there were huge, high water grass. So it wasn't like regular grass. It was like big, long, strands of grass. And that was like, what speed would you estimate travel, or was it a step walk?
Step.
50.
I would say a step walk, yeah.
I think it was a strategic, smart step. I think there was something else going on there that perhaps a father or a mother had to care. For me, this is my vision in my head when I was standing there on the shore. I try to draw up a scenario in my head or a synopsis in my head. It looks like they were like, step, whoops, got to go. Like almost grabbed the little guy and was like, get over here. You know what I mean? Or something. You know what I mean? It was a reactionary, thoughtful to me, tight step to get the hell out of that area. So I don't see it as a jaunt or a long walk, right?
I'm looking at the track, and what I see is, the instep is hitting the rock. The ball of the foot where the toe would be is hitting the rock, and it rolls to the left. And that's why you see a little deeper to the left, and it's more of a ridge, which is more pronounced. And if now you're taking that turn onto the grass, that's only going to even enhance that.
Yeah, you can see that right there.
So it's hitting it with the ball of its foot, and then it's rolling down a little bit, and it's making that turn at the same time into the grass.
You can see that ridge in the bottom, how high it is, and you can see that the bottom side of this rock just kind of like collapses towards the toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used 2 pounds on that. I should have used 3.
Yeah, gotcha.
And how deep was that foot again? I mean, what was that, like 2.5, 3 inches?
Yeah. So
Because remember when I stood beside it, because in the picture that we have, I showed it to one of my friends. Like, well, whose foot is that? I go, that's my foot compared to that. I put my foot, but I was trying to put an indentation to see, I'm close, I'm about 300 pounds compared to this foot and the weight to that foot. And obviously, I didn't even put a dent into that sand/mud, and it's a huge difference. There's a lot of weight to that. It's just amazing.
When we cast that, I've got it home and I'm drying it out. In between the big toe and the second toe, the rock is still stuck in there. It's like it went between the 2 toes.
Yep.
And it stayed there. That rock is still there, separating those 2 toes.
And the grass area that we're talking about, I mean, it's to actually like get on there. What do you think? It's probably almost close to 3 feet high to take that step up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Plus it was almost 60 inches. That's a 5-foot stride, and up almost 2.5, 3 feet into the high grass.
Right. Because it went from that,
and you had
up.
You had to make that step with pressure on that rock.
Right.
And this was down in Mass?
Yeah.
This is in October Mountain State Forest. Like I said, the only reason why this in particular grabbed our attention is because of the numbers on the foot. The measurements. It was big. It was wide. Right.
Yeah.
So when you guys, I was going to say when you guys,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I believe there's probably a couple of days of rain. It's not a freshie by no means.
No.
It was certainly castable, and it doesn't, might not give us, well, we don't know yet.
And
toes, but
Wojo and I covered that, and that stayed covered through those torrential downpours we had for 2 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it kind of
And nothing washed out. So that was really good. That was really good. We covered it and preserved it really good.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Richard?
I actually forgot.
So if you zoom in on the foot, right? If people are able to zoom in the foot, and you can see, like it almost looks like like crater looking, as flat as it looks from the top. But when you zoom in, I'm sure it's from the raindrops hitting. You see what I'm saying? Creating those divots.
I agree.
So, and I knew it is funny because when you brought us out there, and the minute that I think it was Eric telling Timmy, I think you were telling him that, geez, the water receded a lot, and you're like, yeah. And I'm looking around like saying, all right, we're here. Where are we going? But then I was like looking from afar, and I'm like, geez, what is that over there? So I could see something from afar. And once we got down, started heading towards it, and then the closer we got, I'm like, hey, I think this is a foot, and
when we stepped on the other side of that log, that's when I called you over. I said, look at this thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I was like, what is going on here? But you could see the other old steps, like, just, it's got over 50 inches right there of length, and it's just bizarre.
Unfortunately, there were a lot of people down there prior to that kind of stepped across everything.
Yeah.
And I think this one was where it was.
Yeah.
That is a massive stride. 55 inches. That's crazy.
Well, we think it was bigger than that. I mean, the size of that. Don't mind me. My green screen has gone out. I have no idea what happened. So
I bet you that stride off of that size foot could have been almost a 7-foot stride.
Okay,
If-
I want to bring that up. Okay, so when we're up at Charming Fair, that is in the same freaking vicinity where I live, and that 9.5 foot tall Goliath that we call him is supposed to be in that area. So we may run into Goliath, when we're at Charming Fair. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. I don't know if
Eric
you do that.
Savoy, and that was about 9 feet tall.
Yeah, the one that I
That was
the one that I saw was almost 9.
Have you guys heard of Jason Morse? The I forgot the name of the documentary, but he did a documentary of a couple years back, and it was about Goliath, and he estimated this thing. He said it had to be at least 9 foot 5 inches from measuring where he saw the Bigfoot standing next to this tree. And he said it depended on exactly where he stood, because it was a little raised area, where it could have threw it off a couple inches, but at least 9 foot 5 inches. That's fucking nuts, So I am so interested to look for that thing, and have gone on a couple expeditions myself looking for it. I found nothing except when we went to Charming Fair together. So I'm
probably
stoked about
90%
it.
of the time you go out, you're going to get nothing. In fact,
Yeah.
99% of the time you're going to get nothing.
But
Yeah.
speaking of that, the one that I saw was 9 foot tall and about the width of a sheet of plywood.
Jesus.
And it was, and the
Step
step was a
between
7-foot step, 7-foot stride,
And a 17-inch track, 7.5 inches wide.
4 inches deep.
So I can't even imagine what like Goliath would be then. You know what I'm saying? And this was a couple years back, so who knows if they've even both the one that you've seen. Who knows if it's even grown even bigger.
Yeah, and I was 40 yards away from it when I saw it.
Oh, God bless you.
Oh. And it was there, and I was with a group of other people, and one other person saw it. So it wasn't just me. There were 2 of us. who
That's
saw it,
good.
so-
And we went back
That's
with the
always
rangers and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
we got
that's how we went. We went back the following day, and that's how we came up with those 2 tracks.
That's awesome.
Well, and like me and Richie's area that we're finding, we just keep finding uncharted territory. And I showed him an area, like, the tree structure and everything, but finding more footprints in there, to me, obviously, which is cool, but there's a lot more activity. Finding bones, finding newer tree structures, things like that. That the activity is just really alive, and I just feel like we are just so close.
What is your feelings on tree structures, the Vogel brothers? What are your feelings on that?
we're open. We're not sold on it.
Yeah.
I'll speak for myself. I'm pretty confident in Eric.
Where we're from, and Richie and Wojo saw, it's hard for us to really look at these tree structures as being anything, because we have them everywhere.
Yeah, we have in our area. It's densely forested, so these trees grow spindly, really thin, and they end up with a small canopy. Even if it's not a canopy, and it's a couple of spraggly little limbs, they get coated in ice, and next thing you know, they're down on the ground. And we can literally just go through the woods and show you tons of this stuff. And so, to me, where's the relevance? What am I supposed to be looking at that's going to make something
Right.
possible if I'm a Bigfoot? When I've got so much to look at,
Nothing's really popped to say, oh, that's possible.
Well,
one of the things I was telling Richie, I apologize. I was telling Richie is one of the things I always see the tree structures smaller, and to me, if we're talking about these hulking figures that are 7, 8, 9 feet tall, you know, and we go inside this tree structure, this little area, and like it doesn't make sense to me. But so I was thinking about it for the longest time, and I'm like, I honestly believe that those are set aside for when Bigfoot has to go into an area where they know humans are and they have to stash the little ones. I believe that it could be used for that, you know? So because I really am confused, like why an 8-foot tall figure is going to stuff himself inside this little thing, you know?
It depends on it depends on the thing. And I've been on my property, and I apologize. I've had some technical difficulties I'm trying to deal with. Some of them are lower to the ground, but there's also a theory of ambush huts. So it's not necessarily you go in there and live and have steak and eat dinner or whatever the hell you're doing. You're actually one of the researchers I spoke to years ago when I first started having my incidences, and he described to me, because I went out to my game trail. It opens up to a big area, but there's still kind of a little bit of a trail you can see through it, okay? Or you could at this time. Well, along that trail, out of nowhere, because I was going out there on basically every other day, and this whole like broken trees fell down, right? It looked like, but as I looked closer, it was all like a clearing in the middle. So all these trees so happened to land perfectly to where I could, crawl in there, right? Which happens, I get it. But I brought up the subject to this person, and I told him what was happening. He says, well, some people do believe that something like that, because it's on the edge of a game trail, that they'll back themselves down into it. And then when that deer comes walking by, they reach their forearm out and they just snap their legs. And then once their legs are snapped, they pick them up, throw them over their shoulders or whatever, carry them like a purse or whatever, and just head off to the den. So that was one of the theories I had with that. The huts that we found out in Western Mass were 9 feet long, 6 feet deep, strictly made for, and the height I didn't get, but they're at least 4 to 5 feet tall, really. So I was looking at some of them while standing up like this. There's no reason why you couldn't crawl in there as a 9-foot monster and just sleep. There's just you absolutely could have. And matter of fact, I did a scan of the ground and it showed a dip in the ground. So, all that, to me, anything's possible, and sending that stuff out and having conversations with the Vogels is beautiful, because it does ground you. It does make you think. It's not, I've never been everything's Bigfoot guy. I've never been that guy, but I do have legitimate questions. I do have intelligence and intellect. I do understand how Mother Nature works to a point, and probably more so than most people on average. And I know my woods. This is the other thing, and I brought this up to me and Wojo. I know my woods. I've been out to the woods, like I said, every other day or every 3 days or once a week religiously when I was living there, okay? I know these woods. I have pictures of these woods 3 days apart, completely changed, where something shows up like a 40-foot X, and I was just out there 7 days ago, and there was no wind, and there was no rain, and there was no ice, and magic whirlywinds and all that stuff. There was none of that stuff. But then there's a structure there. So it isn't like I'm just willy-nillying this. This is something that I have documented and researched, thoroughly, before I come out and just started talking about it, where I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the structure guy of this community. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me. If there's anybody for the job, it's me, because I don't care. I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm not stupid. I know what I'm looking at. And if you do it and you document it to the point of a journal where you say 7 days ago, 40-foot structure appeared, and then you go back out there 10 days later and the structure's torn down and gone, right? And it hasn't been nothing but a dry spell, and it's not like blown over or laying down anywhere. Me and Wojo went out there and looked at the 40-foot X. We studied that 40-foot X when we found it on the ground. We studied it. We had, this is things that you can do in this field to open up another area of this field. It's okay to go out there. If you're going to go out there and look at structures and do things like that, yes, it is far from scientific. It is not a footprint. It is not a hair that you send off that you get unknown, DNA from, okay? But ultimately, when it comes down to it, this field has zero science in it, okay? And I know everybody says, oh, no, this has been tested, that has been tested, and it's all come back basically zero. It has not come back and said this is Bigfoot. Nothing has. Zero. So I'm gonna look at fucking trees and rocks, and too bad if you don't, and nobody likes it. Okay.
Yeah.
But I will try. I will promise.
And that's
you
why.
this.
That's why I asked.
Wait. I will promise you this. I will do it as a researcher. I will document as I go, visually. All right, and written. I will document it to the best I can to make it evidence of some kind. More so than what we have, which is nothing, by the way. So no stones left unturned. When we went out to the Vogels, that area is completely different. There is water slides, mud slides, things like that. There's tree root balls floating around everywhere. Now down here, you see a tree root ball out. You're like, what in the fuck's that root doing out of the ground? Up there, you're like, oh wow, look, another root fell out of the ground. It's just the way it is. That's the difference. And I learned something that day. This is what this is about. I'm humble enough to tell you I learned something. I don't have an ego problem. I'm not like, oh yeah, those balls. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like that. What did I say to you guys? I see exactly what you guys mean.
And Richard, two things to follow up is that one, going back to what Richie's saying about the X, when the X was down, whatever, I still have old pictures with that X. Okay. When we went back there, they were like, it was just like trashed. But you started to see new tree structures behind it that weren't there before. Okay. So that's one thing that we've been seeing. Certain areas that we saw tree structures, then they're torn down again, but others around it are being built. And going back to about your question to the Vogels, and we had this agreement with them and to Richie, is that two different areas. From where our woodlands is to their woodlands, with the balls of the tree roots falling down from where they are, because that whole area is soft, high trees, very dark. Where we're more like vast, hardwoods, sanctuary, protected lands and so on and so forth. They got a whole mountain, okay? And it's totally different. And I can see why that we don't see as much tree structures. And when I showed Eric those pictures of what's going on in our neck in the woods, it's just totally different. But again, it's not that we value each other's opinions. It's just that we went over there, and me and Richie, like we were talking about this on the way home, we saw the difference, and we learned a lot of going through you guys' places and stuff, and it's a completely different ball game up there.
Totally different ball game.
Total. And I can't wait, because Eric, we discussed this. I can't wait when you guys come down there. It's going to blow your mind. You'll be like, what the hell is going on here?
It is nuts.
I can't wait to get down there.
Because another thing, Richard, too, is that with the I try to compare apples and oranges, their place, our place, so on and so forth. Now, behind Richie's place is that you have like an Anarchy A, okay? But I showed that we also found one in the newer area that we have, and I put the both pictures together. And then I sent it to Eric. I go, do you see these structures? It's like, yeah, it's like an Anarchy A. I go, these are two complete different areas, 2 miles apart. Totally different.
So the 30-foot branch fell and landed on these two little twigs on both trees, and then on two little twigs. I go over. We have a video of me grabbing one end of it, or I think it was Wojo. Remember, I said rock that back and forth with like a finger.
I remember seeing it.
And it balances and stays. And then we go over to this other area, about a mile away or so, say maybe more, and it's the same thing. Now the Magic Whirlywinds are incredible, but I don't think they're that incredible.
I saw the Anarchy A when I was there with you.
Yeah, you did. I showed you that.
Yeah,
it's something that's pretty big.
But this Anarchy A, Richard. The trees are like the thickness of the trees is much wider. And it's just unexplainable. And also, too, that the theory of we talk about Bigfoots and stuff is that, they're part of the Indian folklore and so on and so forth. So back in the days, the Indians used to make tree structures just to show where, it gives you a direction of where the water is or where their, where their camp is. Where if we walk in the woods, we just see tree structures, we wouldn't even know what that is. But for the Indians, they would know, okay, go this way.
Yes.
So
That's
here,
how-
when they're making these tree structures, you know, it could be like martins, could be like a bunch of other things that we just don't know. And that's why we just keep researching and
But why can't it just be for the fuck of it? Why does it have to always be for something? They got nothing to do, bro. I get to go play Fortnite tonight. They don't have Fortnite, okay, guy? I don't understand that theory. People say this all the time, and I'm like, what? Why can't they just be bored? Didn't
Right.
my very first episode, we discussed about how there's possible signs of them being on a spectrum on top of that, right? The rows of trees that we have found on the ground, right, Wojo? In the middle of
Yep.
nowhere, there's
middle of
like
nowhere.
21 trees I counted about this thick around. They're leaning up against a log in a row perfectly. Mother Nature did not do that. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. I
Right.
find that very hard to believe, and the percentage is very low that 21 trees fell exactly the same way.
Something with
Exactly.
thumbs did it. You know?
Yeah,
I
well,
just-
this is their Fortnite, Richard. That's what they do. I mean, it's just bizarre.
That's their Fortnite. Thank you for that, Wojo. Can I ask Andy a question besides, are you still here?
What's up?
Someone got the mirror under his nose so I can make sure he's breathing. Andy, up in your area, right? You have a lot of woods in your area?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever been out in the woods? You ever go for a walk? You ever go for a stroll in the woods? Or are you just too busy working, chasing ghosts and stuff?
Yeah, not lately.
Not late, but you have, right?
Yeah.
And how long you been up in that area?
I think 8 years now.
About 8 years.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to give you some assignments.
Okay.
All right. Is there trails to walk safely?
Yeah.
Because we need to come out to your area, because I know a lot of areas in Connecticut are pretty hot, and kind of check out your area. And I think we need to get a system down where we're documenting the types of atmosphere around us, right? And Damien says it. Shame we don't know the exact day it was built to see if the structures are different with different moons. He did mention moon cycles. I believe everything is more active with the moon cycle. Would the wilderness friends of mine down there on the bottom right of my screen agree with that?
It's very possible, yeah. A lot of other things, environmental recharge through the full moon, so why not?
Yeah, why not, right? So I truly believe, yes, I've had some incidences specifically where I've walked out in the backyard when I lived there and looked up and said, nice, it's a full moon. I remember saying that because I knew there was going to be some kind of activity going on. You know what I mean? Almost automatic, right? In that area. But you have to understand, my area is a bottleneck. It is small compared to where we were with you guys the other day. We do not have the large, massive, 94 acres is a lot of land, don't get me wrong, but it is not 1,300. That is a huge, vast ecosystem in which you live in. And I have a 94-acre ecosystem with a river, which helps because that gives them an out. You know what I mean? The river always gives them an out. They can go left or right at the lights or go across. I mean, I imagine they swim pretty good. What is this? Country boy? Holy cow, 5 people in here now. Holy cow, what's up? Yeah,
Cows.
what's up?
Cows
What's
are
up,
everywhere.
country boy? So listen, this is what we're gonna do, right? I was hoping that Mike Trainer was late. He has an event with his family or something or a party to go to. So Mike Trainer is part of this crew as well. We're truly blessed to have him. I respect Mike's knowledge and his techniques. You know what I mean? So he was trying to get in before 8 o'clock. So I kind of was trying to run it a little bit. So hopefully we would be able to see him, you know. But we're going to be here for a few more minutes. So I just wanted to bring up my print one more time for the people that didn't see it. And then I wanted to announce that everybody on the side right now, besides Henry, because Henry's already a winner, I'm going to take everybody's name and we're going to do a drawing. What's this? And we're going to pull the name, and that person gets an autographed book from Arthur Mills, The Story of Candleface. So you will have that book sent to you. You can have him ship it. If you don't feel comfortable because you don't know him as well as you know me or something, that's fine. I will ship it. So however we got to do it, we'll do it. We're going to make sure you get a copy of his book. So in the meantime, you can touch up on the story at www.candleface.com. You need to check out that story. I would recommend doing it with the lights on. It is pretty spooky. That story's pretty nuts. There was actually a news story and everything. A house burnt down in the neighborhood. A young girl got killed, and he was face to face with her, and has had encounters with her pretty much throughout his life. So, pretty amazing. Wow. Yes, raffle. Yes, Ron, raffle. 20 miles square, probably my max before I hit civilization. It's small grid and more human interference. Yeah. So you know, in my area, I have human interference. There is a sand pit that's active with trucks and things like that you hear in the background. Whenever I'm doing EVP, recorder work like EVPs, I mark it so you know what you're listening to. And I could bring people there that would turn around and just walk away and say, "There's no Bigfoot here," and never come back. And that's okay. The less the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. I got my crew right here that I would love to go out with, or my friends that want to have an open mind and go out and check it out. You will be absolutely blown away with that property. You will see how it's viable. You'll understand what the river does and what it means to a creature. It's an amazing place. Hey, listen. We'll make Arthur send one to Scotland too, there, buddy. So we're not afraid to send it overseas. Don't you worry, man.
Yeah.
So, especially if
Damien does bring it. I'll tell you, he really does. And everywhere he goes, awesome question.
Listen, I just wanted to say the investigation we did. I just wanted to not be rude and take over the show here by saying this, but my video is coming out next week. So
I thought we did a video on that already.
No, the video for Charming Fair.
Oh, Charming Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's what you meant, bro.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I probably didn't say it.
No, you definitely didn't say it. I thought we were still on the Phil one.
No, a Charming Fair.
Okay. Bring it, bro. Let's bring it. I'm pretty psyched. Here, let me do this. Let's see. Damien, but that's supposed to be an email, Damien. I don't know what happened, but there's my email. Make sure you send me something so I can get you on my show. So check this out. So last thing on my print. So when we got this print, we had two sticks. There's a slot here. You can see a slot there, right? Probably, maybe. I might turn it this way. Here, let me get closer. Oh, there we go. You see that? You can see where it kind of goes there, right? And there was a slot here. And on this side, me and Wojo, and we're talking about it when we were there, obviously casting it and stuff. This stick here acted as something that kind of split the toes. That's the cool thing right here. We've determined that was the case. So if it's a full shoe, if it's a full boot or something, right, that stick breaks and all that stuff, right? And it just gets pushed down or it snaps. This one was perfectly placed between two toes. So we see it. We have a toe here that comes around. You can see the curve right here of the toe. And then you can see the ball of the next toe up here. So you follow the ball of the next toe. And again, it's not defined, but you can see a little bulbous type shape. And then same with over here on the side. Now, I dealt with rain the day before we cast it as well. That was kind of one thing. It didn't, the way it was set in the muck, it didn't make it push out or make it any bigger or smaller, longer. But it definitely filled it up and took care of some of the markings for it. So that was kind of cool. And then when we went to leave, I noticed we pulled it up and there was a stick in between now right here, right? You look at it, goes right across. It almost looks like, oh my God, that could be a mark of a boot or something, right? Well, first of all, like Eric says, boots don't bend like this. So that helped me a lot, by the way. Well, I made sure we grabbed that stick before we left. So you guys could see the stick that is right in the middle of the foot. Which I
in the same size stick was inverted into the ground where those toes, where it went right in between that Richie's talking about.
Yeah, so
it's the same size.
It was like that. But this ain't the stick for that. This is just the same size.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of showing you kind of what we had in our theory. You can see right here, see how it's kind of bows out like it's bulbous like a side of a toe. That tells you that the toes kind of slid around the stick like this. When it stepped down, it slid right in between the toes. Is that cool or what?
That's freaking.
You give the context of the story. You take the cast. It shows another portion of evidence, whether it's related or not. It goes with the context of the story. And now you've got a cast to go with it. Maybe there's a visual. Maybe there's this. Maybe there's that.
Yeah.
And all of that collectively is evidence. Whether people believe it or not, or whether they want to. That's their own thing. They got to do it. We have to go off, do our thing, and do it as good as we can, as professional as we can, to take all the doubts out of it. and then it is what it is. And tracks here have been we just got it out of the mud, and it's been difficult.
Yeah.
Right? So, you say, oh, geez, I'd like to get one in the mud. Well, dude, we had one in the mud, and, it's ambiguous at best. It's large. We got that. And that's the way we normally get. So we take what we get, and you keep moving forward, and hopefully one day we'll get that perfect track. But right now, that track is in October Mountain. That was a defining track. That was a big, wide track. It wasn't unlike any other track in the area. And that's why it stood out.
Yeah, no, I think, it absolutely stood out, and it was beautiful, and I'm just so grateful to be part of that. That's huge, man.
Really cool.
Yeah,
That's a big track.
Yeah, just to watch the way, but you watch guys like, Tim and Eric, they've done this plenty of times, and they've seen plenty of things, and for me to watch their reaction to it was so cool, because I was like, I'm supposed to be excited? I am. I'm excited. You know what I mean? Because, as a novice, I'm over here like, that does look like a track. And then you look at them like, is there a track? You know what I mean? So it was really awesome to be part of that and to see their reaction to that and to be part of a team that pulled that. It's a huge deal, man. And that's one thing we talked about that afterwards as well. About going out, about gathering evidence. When you're on that expedition together, everything you kind of collect is everybody's. Everybody kind of does it as a unit and as a team. And that's what those guys believe. And I think that's so huge for everybody. It's same with ghost hunting, the whole 9 yards. I don't care if there's a ghost standing there in front of me and Andy and it's on my phone. What the hell's the difference? You know what I mean? Right. Look at Andy. Show everybody what we saw, bro. Here, I'm going to send this over to you. There's so much of that. Because I want clicks and views instead of the following the research. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense, right? So no, it's pretty kick-ass. I should move.
Listen, that's what I was just talking to my wife about. Earlier, I said, a lot of people do this shit just for just to get clicks and views. I want to do it to put the evidence out there, present what I have. And if people, they like you said, you just take it for however you want. You go with what you want with it. I mean, it's you make up your own mind. So, I mean, it's all we can do.
Yeah, but also too, Richard, is that we go on live a lot, and so whatever we see is what you're going to see. And if we bump into that print, you're there with us finding it, in ourselves, and that to me is a key. Look, anybody, if you were to post something up there, hey Don, if you just post pictures up there, whatever, people, the first thing they'll say is, oh, that's a boot. Or that's this, that's that, and yet they don't put in the work. They don't go out in the woods and investigate themselves. I mean, it's just. But I understand what they're saying. But but I would say okay, but it's not shaped like a boot. You don't see ridges. You don't see broken sticks. Okay, and the top part is it rained the night before, but would it still be perfect? I don't know. Personally, but
I don't think that cast is that far off, even with the rain, because of the material that it was in. It was in rock and hard sand, so I think it held up through that rain pretty good, and we covered it pretty good.
Right.
100%.
We close on.
And this is why I like guys like the Vogels. They not only have friends. Excuse me. They're our friends, but they're resources. They've been out there. They've casted many times. They've seen plenty of footprints. They've seen Bigfoot. That's what I value. Is I value their resources, but their friendship too. And this is what solidifies this team.
Exactly.
And Mike Trainer, marine biologist. I have a friend down in that works for the University of Georgia, and he works in the forestry. He knows everything about the forest, but all these pictures I send him, driving him nuts. He's like, "What is going on up in Massachusetts?" I go, "It's crazy up here." I go, "You need a plane ticket. I'd love to get you out there."
Oh yeah,
he would freak out.
Yeah, that would be huge for him, especially with our theories with structures. He would help us a lot. You know what I mean? On Messenger. Okay, great. Thank you, Henry. Did you backtrack? Let's see. I got to do one more question. We got to wrap it up. Did you backtrack and work backwards, or do you limit search circles to we just know the area so well, really, Damien. We go back and check the stuff that we've been to see if it's changed, and then we kind of nip out new areas. You know what I mean?
I know the area better than him. Wojo, how do we get here? Wojo, where are we?
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
The four of us did it. We went back and we were looking at that stuff, and then Tim and I went back the next day, while it was drying, and we went back out into the woods to see if there was anything else out there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're always backtracking.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. We check everything out. And and I rely on Wojo a lot. Wojo was a hunter for a lot of years. He has a great sense of direction. I've been out my own property 1,000 times. I know every inch of it, but doesn't mean I don't know how to get across it right away. I'm like, I should go this way to that. No, that ain't it. I got to go this way. You know what I mean? So it's just, 94 acres is 94 acres. It's not small. It's,
But also where the footprint was, Rich, while we just finished
that was
capping.
Yeah.
And I just happened to turn around. I'm starting to see like suspicious stuff. So I walked the perimeter without saying nothing. What did I say to you, Rich, when I came back? Good night to you.
You said go around there and take a walk and tell me what you see. And
That's exactly what I said. That's all I said.
I got 3 steps in that direction, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. Let's put it that way.
Eric, you yelling, Wojo, I know what you're thinking. I'm like,
looked
good
like
stuff
something
happened.
was living there. It looked like something was living there, and that's where I found that broken, shattered bone again. And I don't get the shattered bone things. I just don't. We don't have a lot of shattered bones around here. We don't have a lot of bear or anything like that. It's just snapping off legs and sucking the marrow out. It's just we just don't have a lot of that around here. So I'm a little perplexed about the shattered bones that I've been finding with no marrow in them. You know what I mean? So. Right.
That's why they're shattered, so that they can get the marrow out.
I don't know who's shattering them.
It's a super food source.
I know. I'm trying to figure out who's shattering them. Tell me who's shattering them. Was it you?
Right. Yeah, it would be good if we had someone to send that off to.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Without the tooth marks, the chiseling on the teeth all look like rodent to me.
Yeah, no, and I think that's after the fact. I think that's after the fact. After it's laying there, they come along and they're opportunists and they gnaw on it for the calcium. So I think that's after the fact. But
the shattered bone, absolutely.
Yeah. The shattered bone itself is mind blowing to me because I go through all the animals in my area and I just don't see any of them just snapping deer leg. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just weird, man. It's kind of, and now I've got 2 of them. They're right up there on my new podcast area here. You know what I mean? So
in the woods, nothing goes to waste. Everything will be consumed.
100%, right down to the bone. Getting on by a squirrel. I hear squirrels are the main culprits when it comes to calcium. They need a lot of calcium, and their teeth are perfect for it. And that makes sense to me. And that's why, I asked the question and don't walk around like I know everything. I make sure I'm not like that.
You won't have one squirrel. You'll have 15, 20, 30 red squirrels gnawing on that thing at different times.
Yeah, right. Little mean, nasty bastards, those guys.
I got
red squirrels. Those little ginger squirrels will get you. You don't mess with gingers. All right, gentlemen, I have to wrap this up. This has been amazing. What an amazing announcement. What an amazing time. What an amazing bunch of green behind me because I had technical difficulties. This is amazing, right? Andy was out of control, drunk, yelling and screaming again like he's at a frat party, right?
Thanks for the moonshine, Andy. No, I'm only kidding.
No, I got Mountain Dew today.
That's why.
I'm sorry, buddy. No, that's okay. That's okay.
That's why Andy's so full of energy. He's drinking the Mountain Dew.
Number 2.
So here, Mike Trainer's right here. He made it. He says, sorry, buddy, I'm not going to make it. Late notice. I know, but I've been trying to follow along. So there you go, everybody. There's Mike Trainer.
Hey, Mike.
Trainer. So he's got that Etsy page.
Yeah, he's got his Etsy page. He's working on his Etsy page.
Come on over. Richie's building a fire.
Yeah, right.
Great job, Joe.
I gotta get my son at a Little League game. He's I'm looking over at the game going, oh my God, it's the 6th inning. Good night. Listen, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Definitely follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All Banter Richie B. Like and subscribe to my YouTube. Rich, where can everybody find you, bro?
Shadowside Paranormal.
On YouTube, right?
YouTube. Sorry, yeah, YouTube.
What about you, Andy? You got something going on, Andy?
Just on Facebook.
Sensing Shadows Paranormal. There we go. Andy, keep it down, bro. You got to stop the drinking. You're out of control. And the Vogels.
I
The
have to work
Vogels.
tonight.
He's
No
in work
drinking.
mode. And the Vogels have something going on with the Critter Cobble
Mountain,
Cobble Mountain.
Cobble Mountain.
Yeah,
The Cobble Mountain Critter Project, and soon we'll have the Cobble Mountain Critter Festival, June 7th, 25.
Oh yeah,
Come-
you know I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Well,
you
yeah,
see
I'll
the
be there.
location.
Hopefully.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll bring the hugs.
Oh, we'll hug in front of them and show them how to do it like men.
Rich, are you doing something before we go off the air?
What am I doing?
Pulling names?
No, I know. I will save that. I'll pull it and announce it this week. So I will pull the draw and I will announce it this week for you.
Right.
How's that? Because I've been writing and I just got to go through it. I will let you know if you want. Catch it and tune in, okay? If you don't tune in, you don't win. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't tune in, I'll reach out to you personally, okay? Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you to the Vogels. This is the Boots on the Ground. Bigfoot investigators are right here in front of you. We got Mike Trainer, 2 on the side. We're going to be adding as we go, and I am super pumped for this. This is going to be awesome. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you more so to Rich's wife for standing up for me and showing them that Android users suck. All right? Android users suck. So thank you all for joining. Thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for your kick-ass questions. Everybody keep climbing. Right, Wojo?
Buy the merch.
buy the merch.